What does it mean to heal harm, not just on an interpersonal level, but really on a structural level? What are the levers that we need to pull at to actually advance truth and reconciliation, to advance real, deep repair of long-standing injustice in the Bay Area and across the country? So Restore Oakland really provides a new vision of community safety, resources for a healthy Oakland, and a secure home for organizing and advocacy to transform the Bay Area. Our aim is to forefront restorative justice, to forefront economic opportunity, to forefront people coming together to hold accountable their elected officials to an actual vision of community safety, not based in fear, punishment in prisons, but really based in hope, based in love.
I'm seeing the impact of just, everybody being attracted to this beautiful city and all that we have to offer, and then the ones that we've held it down, we're being pushed out. And so I think that that's the biggest fear right now. So, we've been trying to maneuver as much as possible and maintain and keep our children safe, keep our families safe, keep our homes. The biggest issue is just housing, and then also employment when it comes, especially with our youth. Our youth are being criminalized at a large rate right now. And I'm saying that because I'm a parent whose child has been criminalized as well, and I just know the impact of, a child that has been put into the system and how hard it is for her.
At the Ella Baker Center, we talk about the need for truth and reinvestment, and that is reckoning with a long history of racial injustice, gender injustice that shows up in particular in the criminal justice system. Not just raising that truth, but also reinvesting resources back into communities that have been hardest hit by what has been the largest prison building boom in human history right here in this country. But we actually need a model in terms of what that reinvestment should look like.
ROC, we're a national organization of 130,000 restaurant workers, consumers, and restaurant owners working together for better wages and working conditions to allow anybody in this industry to move up ladders that didn't previously exist until we came along. The restaurant industry in the Bay Area is one of the largest and fastest growing sectors, but continues to be very low paying. And although we have actually higher wages in California than other states, we actually have the highest race wage gap in the restaurant industry, the highest gap between white workers and workers of color in the restaurant industry in the Bay Area, higher than any other restaurant industry region in the United States. But the part that most people don't know is that a large and growing segment of the jobs are livable wage jobs. A fine dining server or bartender in San Francisco or even uptown Oakland can earn anywhere from $75,000 to $150,000 a year. The problem is that those jobs are held almost exclusively by white men.
Incredible people here. This is just so encouraging and hopeful for me because I've been around an industry that really doesn't promote people of color. And they don't hire people of color. Unless you're willing to work in the back.
Our vision of a new industry is one in which it is extraordinarily equitable and diverse.
We had a bartending 101 class taught by Thomas.
Restore Oakland really comes about through the wisdom and vision of community members who identified restorative justice and economic opportunity as really being the building blocks of real community safety.
In creating the restaurant, we conducted hundreds of surveys of the local community to find out what did they want out of a restaurant. Most people said healthy food, and so that's what we're doing. In thinking about restorative justice and a new building, we've engaged hundreds and hundreds of community residents to ask them, what do you want out of this space? What kind of needs do you want to see met? How do you see this space helping the community? And Restore Oakland has really been built based on understanding those needs.
The Ella Baker Center has been bounced around the Bay Area 9 times in our 20-year history. And so this is really important because we know that if we're going to have strong communities, we need strong community-centered institutions. And being able to have a home for the Ella Baker Center, for Causa Justice, the Restaurant Opportunity Centers United, among so many other great organizations, is going to be critical in fighting gentrification and fighting for an equitable Oakland.
You know, most of what happens to youth, most of the problems that we have in society are not lying within the youth. Like, the problem doesn't lie within them, the problem lies within our society that pathologizes them. And so we try to teach those tools that recognize that, but also allow youth to survive and thrive in this oppressive environment.
Restorative justice is a process where a harm has been done to an individual, usually, and there's some sort of need to repair, to heal from that has to occur. It doesn't really rely on law enforcement or our criminal justice system to do it. It actually doesn't kind of take them out of the community so that they can be punished, but actually allows them to stay in the community and to be accountable to the actual person or persons who've been harmed.
Restore Oakland is where people can come if they have conflict in the home or in their community, and they can come get training on how to hold circle, but they can also come and be a community member, a member of a circle. They can also come with their own conflicts and ask for support and healing in them.
Being able to take clients into other spaces where there are additional services that really address some of the other needs and concerns that always arise when we're working with our community is extremely important.
It's hard to deal and to navigate through a world when no one addresses your ancestors and addresses the pain and the trauma and the living that's here. So just to have a place where we can actually talk about that, I think that that's what's going to turn this craziness up on its head, is to help people rise up.
So it goes back to this idea of public health and how do we actually address things that people are experiencing so that we can have people have closure and move forward. I think healthy communities build up and become healthy cities, healthy states, healthy country. So if we can start there with just really coming together and creating intentional spaces where we can talk about how we can find work and train people to work in jobs that have livable wages, so that communities will actually begin to heal and to become stronger.
We can't heal harm in isolation. We can't heal harm by ourselves. It's going to take a collective effort in order to undo long history of trauma in this region and in this country. And so my invitation to you is to support this work.
In this moment of regressive national politics, we need an inspirational, intersectional model that shows us a path for the future, a path in which everybody is welcomed and included and can thrive and prosper, can work together collectively to address their own problems, not just be handed a solution, but rather can be part of change.
That's what safety and liberation look like.
They can come, they can get training, they can address their criminal justice situation, they can get housing assistance, they can dream and work towards opening their own restaurants. There's so many needs that can be met, but the fundamental need that we're talking about here isn't an individual need, it's a community need that we will see addressed through this very intersectional approach that will be an incredible model for replication for so many more places to come.